Hey gang, Coach Tim here. It's January the 23rd, I believe it is Threshold Thursday. And if you can't tell, I just finished the Thursday workout. So let's talk about it. Because of Tuesday's workout, I spent my rest periods during this one writing copious notes that I could hopefully relay to you to make this one go a little bit smoother. You might be thinking, you know what? I don't know if you're thinking this or not, but people hate to assault bike, right? Most people really feel assaulted by that bike. And therefore, it really doesn't matter what our distance programmed is or what the calories programmed are. It really seems like people just don't like getting on that thing. But I'm here to tell you that if there's going to be a time that you don't mind the assault bike, let it be when distance is programmed, because you might see 500 and people who are relatively new to CrossFit, or at least new to our gym, might go 500. I just did that on the rower on Tuesday. That's kind of brutal. It takes a while. Well, for those people, just know our conversion rate is half. So 500 meter row is more like 1,000 meters on the bike. So a 500 meter bike is more like a 250 meter row. So keep that in mind. It's meant to be fast, and it will be fast for most people. The workout today, pretty classic threshold workout for us, except it includes a skill, and that could mean a couple of different things. The skill is double unders. The workout is 7 rounds, a 500 meter bike sprint, and then 50 double unders. And then a minute of rest between rounds. So we have that built-in rest to help you recover. And yet, if you've learned nothing else from threshold workouts, threshold type workouts, you know that a minute is never enough rest. So some workouts, as soon as you start to see rests in a period of like 3 to 5 minutes or even longer, then you can go, okay, coach wants me to be fully recovered each round, right? Like as recovered as I'm gonna be in the context of a CrossFit class. Whereas with 1 minute of rest, we want to sort of fool you into thinking you're recovered, but the working periods sort of stack up. That fatigue never fully goes away. And still, what we're going to ask of you today is consistency across rounds if you can. So there's 3 types of people doing a workout like this. There's people who have double unders any time of day, right? 24/7, 365. You got double unders, you can knock out big sets. There's those people. There's people who have double unders, but telling them to sprint through 50 more is asking a lot. And then there's people who don't have double unders, aren't really working on that skill quite yet, and are still doing singles. So people who already have really solid double unders, this really is gonna feel like a sprint. This is gonna feel like a test of your double under endurance today. Can you get through this without tripping ever? I only tripped once, and it was in my first round. Cost me a good 4 or 5 seconds. All right, the next group of people who are working on this. Look, there's not really a time cap on today's workout. Now, if you think having to do 50 times 7 double unders is gonna take you 45, 50 minutes, then I'm gonna need to ask you to lessen the amount of double unders to something that's more sustainable, maybe even more consistent across rounds. So like for some people, maybe it's not 50 at all, maybe it's like closer to 25, but you can be consistent with it and still be challenged. The whole point of what I'm trying to say is you should feel like you do have the flexibility, the time, the space. There's nobody waiting behind you to use equipment that you're using, so you should feel like you're not being hurried to figure out these double unders, especially if you're tripping a lot. Finish the 50 if you feel like you can finish all of your double unders today in a reasonable amount of time and with some form of consistency. And then people doing single unders, look, I want to see fast 100 single unders. I want to see really fast 100 single unders. And I also want to see you sprint the heck out of that bike. All right, what else can I tell you? The bike is a huge difference maker today. So whereas yesterday we were telling you, look, the farmer carry, the shuttle sprint, it might make a difference on the leaderboard a little bit, but it's really just busy work in between the star of the show. No, today, that bike and your ability to really go hard for 500, like harder than you ever have, it makes a huge difference. But not only is it making a difference, it's the point. All right, we want you to do those double unders under a lot of fatigue. For most people, that bike should take less than a minute. That's the ideal. All right, another thing, transitions. They need to be very, very quick, right? Couple of things that are gonna help you with that. Every single round, have your jump rope set out in front of you exactly where you want it, not all jumbled up, right? And the part of being ready to go and transitioning time is making sure that the bike is already reset and ready for you at 0 meters, ready for that next round. So I know a minute doesn't feel like a lot of time, but it's at least enough time to get your jump rope set up and also have your bike ready to go. 1 minute of rest, I mentioned, never quite means recovered fully. So you won't ever get that feeling of full recovery. It's okay, that's normal. Because there's double unders today, and we don't want people feeling pressured into a skill that they don't necessarily have down quite yet, we're not gonna take like your fastest and your slowest round or anything like that today. You're just gonna take one solid, what was the time on the clock when the workout ended? That's it, that's your score. Now competitors, or people who find themselves to be really good at double unders and wanna get competitive on the bike, you should be keeping track of your splits if there's enough time between rounds, just to get an idea of whether or not you were consistent across rounds. And if you have the time and the patience to do that for everyone, then look, do that for everyone, because consistency is key on these types of days. I think that's it for my notes. My time was 15:32. My consistency was, can't really see it, but it was fully there. It was 120, 122, 121, 121, 120, 122, and then my first round was 126 because I tripped on the dubs, as I mentioned. So consistency was key. Try to make that happen for yourself as well. Enjoy.